If success in baseball is usually built brick by painstaking brick, what happens when a team decides to blow the whole structure up and rebuild it overnight with mountains of cash? Specifically, what is the exact price tag, in dollars and in dignity, for the psychological trauma of being 2 outs away from a World Series title, only to watch it dissolve into utter catastrophe?
We're talking about the Toronto Blue Jays, and this offseason isn't just a shopping spree, it's an exorcism. And the ghosts they're trying to banish are costing them a breathtaking $500 million. Welcome back to 609 True News, where we believe the real story in sports isn't just the final score, but the shocking, uncompromising truth behind the decisions. And if you're looking for the unvarnished facts on what happens when a franchise goes all in and ignores the terrified whispers of the luxury tax line, you've found your home.
The American media is not just surprised by Toronto's off-season moves, they are, quite frankly, disgusted. Or, as the original Japanese sentiment put it, they are utterly dumbfounded by the sheer scale of the investment. We are talking about an acquisition binge that would make oil barons blush. It started with pitching, massive commitments to established arms like Cishek, the repatriation of talents like Ponce, and critical high-leverage bullpen acquisitions like Rogers. The total investment into the pitching staff alone was already staggering, hovering near $270 million before the crown jewel was even secured. Then came the bombshell, Kazuma Okamoto, the powerhouse slugger from the Yomiuri Giants, securing a 4-year, $60 million deal. This wasn't just a signing, it was the final, defiant hammer blow that told the rest of Major League Baseball, we have switched the system from win mode to championship or Bashes mode. The combined total contractual obligation this offseason touches approximately $529 million, pushing their annual payroll well past $479 million, smashing the franchise record and ensuring they become a flagrant luxury tax offender. To understand why the rest of the league, and especially the U.S. sports talking heads, are reeling, you have to understand the mentality they operate under.
This isn't ambition, it's financial madness. They've ballooned their payroll by 40% in 2 years, going from being clever contenders to reckless spenders. They are guaranteeing a massive luxury tax hit, perhaps $30 to $40 million in penalties alone, which will only escalate. That kind of impulsive spending usually signals a desperate front office, not a smart one.
That is where they fundamentally misunderstand the Canadian mindset right now. They look at the spreadsheets. Toronto is looking at the scoreboard from last year's Game 7 of the World Series. That loss, where they were literally 2 outs away from glory before suffering a nightmarish, momentum-shattering reverse defeat, wasn't just a defeat, it was an organizational trauma. The front office knows that to run back the exact same squad with the exact same limitations would be malpractice. They looked at the core talents, stars like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette, and realized their championship window is now. As baseball scout and longtime industry insider Kenji Ito puts it, the investment wasn't about adding potential, it was about eliminating every possible excuse for failure. The bullpen implosion they suffered last year cost them the title. Now they have depth, proven late-inning arms, which means the starters don't have to throw on fumes in the 7th inning. This is surgical spending, disguised as a drunken shopping trip. Now, let's address the inevitable counterargument, because it's a valid one. Many critics argue that the Blue Jays already had a strong team, and spending this much money on players who, statistically, only move the needle slightly is reckless. Why drop $60 million on Okamoto when they already have established power? This view is short-sighted. They weren't just buying a power bat, they were buying lineup protection, depth against right-handed pitching, and, crucially, a shift in organizational culture. Look at the numbers. Last season, the Blue Jays struggled disproportionately against high-velocity right-handed relievers in high-leverage situations, posting a combined .215 team average in the 8th and 9th innings of close games. Okamoto isn't just replacing a player, he's plugging the precise, bleeding wound that opened up in Game 7. Furthermore, the fact that they signed pitchers who specialize in high-leverage, low-walk scenarios demonstrates they are specifically targeting the mental pressure points that cause their breakdown. It's not about making a good team great,
It's about making a choker team clutch. This entire spending spree leads to an intense, dramatic climax around the future of the team's core. The Blue Jays know they cannot afford a single mistake this year. If they miss the playoffs or suffer another early exit, this massive investment becomes one of the most ridiculed failures in modern baseball history. The pressure is most intense, perhaps, on Okamoto. Contrast his situation with that of another high-profile Japanese player. When Murakami went to a developing team, he had runway and time to adjust. Okamoto is walking onto a World Series or bust machine. He wasn't signed for potential. He was signed for guaranteed, immediate production that brings the trophy home. If he slumps through June, the Canadian media, having seen the price tag, will be unforgiving, far more so than if he were on a rebuilding club. The $60 million isn't just his salary. It's the cost of the entire team's shattered dreams from the year before, placed squarely on his shoulders.
But here is the exciting plot twist and the final reason why the US media should stop whining and start paying attention. This $500 million commitment is likely not the ceiling. The organizational shift signaled by this astronomical spending, accepting the luxury tax hit early on, paves the way for an even bigger move, potentially next summer, to secure an established superstar or re-sign a crucial core player like Bichette long-term. By establishing this level of financial intensity now, they are telling the league that the next 5 years will see Toronto not just competing, but dominating. This season is the culmination of agony, the year of reckoning, fueled by the bitter taste of being 2 outs away from everything. They have purchased depth, they have purchased talent, but most importantly, they have purchased the organizational mandate: win or suffer the consequences of history. The question is no longer whether the Blue Jays can afford this spending, but rather, can they afford not to win after this display of absolute, unhinged commitment? That is the question that defines the entire MLB season. Do you think the Blue Jays' massive, uncompromising spending spree guarantees them a World Series title this year, or will the weight of those contracts prove too heavy to carry? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you appreciated this deep dive into the shocking financial warfare being waged by Toronto, please hit the like button, share this video with your fellow baseball fans, and subscribe to 609 True News for more unfiltered truth about the game.